Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're doing a mod spotlight for one of my favorite games, Mount & Blade Warband. And so this mod was actually brought to my attention by Vander over on my Discord server. And this is just a great opportunity for me to plug that. If you haven't joined up on the Discord server, it's a great place to communicate with, obviously, people who enjoy the same games as you and myself, help point out things to me, ask questions, all that sort of stuff. It's just a great platform for us to communicate without getting lost in the giant YouTube bubble that's so easy to get lost in. So that's the first plug of this video. But what we're here to talk about is the Age of Arthur, which you can see on the screen, which is a total conversion mod for Mount & Blade Warband. I've been playing it quite a bit in these last couple weeks, and I really enjoy it. It's one that I haven't seen before, so I was glad that it was brought to my attention because I've been having a lot of fun with it. And if the King Arthur, Arthurian legend sort of stuff interests you, I'll have a link in the description to a playlist of videos on my history channel where I talk about a lot of different topics from these guys, so feel free to check those out. But so basically what this mod is about is it's a mostly historical-ish version of the story, so there's obviously a lot of legend involved in Arthurian legend. That's why it's called a legend. But this is going to be taking place in the historical time period where the Arthur story originates, which is going to be the Dark Ages. This is going to be prior to Knights in Shining Armor. This is going to be Romano-Briton sort of era, where the Saxons are kind of the enemy they're coming on, so this is before the Saxon Age. So not your typical 12th, 13th century idealized Knights in Shining Armor sort of stuff. This is much earlier than that. So it takes place during a very turbulent time in the British Isles, and that's really fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it so far. And so this mod is actually a lot of fun. Before we get into talking about the mod's features and stuff, I'll just quick touch on downloading. So this is ModDB, where this is going to be located. I'll have a link in the description to the mod. But basically, when you download this, you go to your files, you download the latest version of it. It's 6.0 as of the time of recording this video. And then you just pop that file into your modules file. So for me, now I can't say exactly where yours in, but it should be something like this, where it'll be in whichever local disk you've got it in. For me, it's C, Program Files 86, Steam Apps, Common, Mount & Blade Warband, Modules. And you're just going to put that whole module right in there. And then when you launch the game, it should be an option right on your right on the game's launcher. So that's how you install the mod. Once you've done that, it should be good to play. So just to show you what it looks like, we're going to start up a new game. So I can show you some of the options that this mod's got going for it that make it really fun from the get-go. So we'll start a new game. All right, so it says, Welcome to Age of Arthur. Pretty standard. It says, Anno Domini 498. We are at the end of the 5th century. See, told you it's pretty early. So this is right as Rome is starting to fall, the beginning of the medieval period. The light of Rome has flicked and gone out, absorbed by the darkness. Their armies leaving England 80 years ago. The golden age of knights and princesses are yet a distant dream. So this is way before that. So the mod's acknowledging it. It is a dark and ruthless era of raw strength and survival, where men go to bed every night praying to see a new day. It is the age of Camelot, the clans of Ireland, and the ascension of the Franks and the emergence of the Saxons. It all awaits you. So this is where we get to choose what we're going to do. So your races, you have Anglo, Frank, Scotty, Brigantes, Romano-Briton, which is the one I started as, Foreigner, which who knows what that is, probably just some unnamed thing, Pict, Briton, Irish, Frisian, Jute, or Saxon. So you've got a lot of different things to pick from, and in this mod so far that I've seen, it's all unique stuff. So since I've done Romano-Briton before, let's do what should we start? Let's start as a Jute. Start down in the southeast part of England. I think that's where the Jutes are from. Well, not maybe from, but that's where they are. So male and female, and it'll affect the difficulty of playing because it's supposed to be more difficult to start as a female. We'll do a male because I'm a male. Height, we'll do tall because I'm tall. We'll start as young. Greatest virtue, so you can do wisdom, which is self-explanatory. Fortitude, which is like bravery. Temperance, so what does it say? Self-control, that makes sense. Justice, justice is justice. So let's do fortitude. That seems a good way to go. So this is where it starts getting real interesting. So for father's background, you could do Major King, which is going to start you off as like the leader of a kingdom. So you can start out in this mod, you could start out, if you pick Jute, it's going to give you options in the Jute lands to be a Major King. You could do Petty King, which is what I did on my first playthrough, which is where you start out with like a little village, and if you help the village out and upgrade the buildings in it, eventually you can upgrade it to a town. So that's one of the more unique things about this game, that's probably the coolest thing in here, is the petty king option, because a noble will start you off as like similar to a petty king, but serving a king. So you won't be your own leader. You'll automatically be serving someone when you start out. And then the rest of these are just going to start you out with boosts in certain stats. So we're going to do petty king since I think it's the coolest one. As a child, you liked martial arts, crafts, oratory, so speaking, stealing, or farming. We're going to go with martial arts. Get that initial stat boost for combat. Starting out, you were a landowner, a hunter, a traveler, a priest. Let's do landowner. And religion, you have pagan or Christian. And we're going to go with Christian. I believe the Jute area might be pretty pagan, so that might make it a little complicated. So that'll be fun. And we'll continue. So, since we're a petty king, we get to pick a banner. So, I mean, we got a cool prancing lion looking thing there. That's not bad. We are going to do, let's be this knight on a horse. There we go. And you can do realistic, no quitting without saving. We'll do that. All right. So now we get to do all the regular stuff. That's me. We'll pop some intelligence points because boy, do we need that intelligence. So you can see because we picked martial arts, we start out with higher throwing, strike, iron flesh, our weapon master, athletics, riding. That's going to give us some sweet boosts in combat. So I'm probably going to, we also start off with 7 for leadership because of what we picked. So that's obviously an awesome boost. That's going to help us really, really well. So we're going to pop some into pathfinding, spotting, because I like being able to spot people on the map. Trade is already, where's inventory management? We want some inventory management for looting. Trainer is always a good one. Tactics. What else do we got? Wound treatment will do. All right, then we'll do one-handed weapons. And now we'll create a character. I'll skip this because it's boring. All right, we have somewhat of a decent looking guy. Just randomized it a bunch until we got here. So that's what we'll be. So it says, so many years have passed since you last saw your father's kingdom. Many sunsets since you last journeyed out from that backwater place to purchase lands of your own. You were prepared to never return, yet destiny had other planes. Planes? I'm assuming that means plans. Blah, blah, blah. So we're going back. All right, so where are we? Okay, so actually we're not even on the British Islands. We're starting off down in Francia, or whatever you want to call this area. So we're over here on the mainland. So I would guess Jute lands might be our only place. Germanic Franks. So let's look at our notes. Here we are. We are the ruler of Jute lands. So that's our only spot. We're 18. We're the ruler of Jute lands, which is this little village. And so if we, so our court, we have a court right off the bat, a tiny little hut, which is a cool way to start off. We can manage the village. There's options. We build a manor, mill, watchtower, school, messenger post, Christian monastery. And Christians aren't welcome here, so if we do that, we'll piss off the villagers, so that's always fun. And eventually, we'll be able to upgrade the village into a town. So that's a lot of the stuff that you're going to get automatically with the petty king option. So as far as the mod goes, I'm just going to read off some of the feature list quick to give you an overview. It says, full conversion, enter the Dark Ages and explore England, Pictland, Ireland, and France on a massive map. Hundreds of new items to choose from. Have your choice of starting people, from the desperate Britons to the wild Picts, over 12 different races in the game, each with their own benefits, challenges, troops, and special quests. Completely redone troop trees and troops to fit period and cultures. Over 50 new quests added, and more being developed as we go. Expanded kingdom management options to help grow your empire. Fishing and hunting allows new ways to get food. Nearly 100 random events in the game to add challenge and immersion. Over 200 possible dynamic events add flavor to the game. Religion system. Choose pagan or Christian, each with their own advantages. Killable lords and kings. With a chance their deaths will spawn new family members on a mission to hunt you down. Over 150 unique lords, many historical with their own dialogue and family trees. An option to play the game with more fantasy or magic, or to keep it more historical. Light spellcasting and magic if fantasy settings are enabled. Have children and watch them grow to serve you, eventually becoming lords or companions. Arrange marriages for your children to seal alliances and build friendships. You may die in battle, but you continue playing as your firstborn son or daughter. So there's a dynasty system, which I really enjoy. There's seasons in the game, so you'll get weather events. Whether it's winter, you can get extreme storms. So if you're besieging a town when there's a winter storm, some of your people might freeze to death. So that's something that's really going to keep this. It's way more dynamic than most conversion mods I've ever seen for Warband. So it's definitely a lot of fun. There's also just a ton of options. So you can see you have the option to build a village, which you're going to need some tools and some timber to do. But as long as you've got that and got enough people, you can build a village wherever you want. And if you build the village, it's one of the ones that you're able to upgrade to a town. So if you want, you can make your own kingdom, pick kind of a spot that doesn't have a lot of stuff into it, and just start making towns, not conquer anything for a long time as long as you have the resources and the men. You can also build a fort, which is just a temporary structure where you can station up to 50 troops. and stay. It's a very useful thing. You can hunt, which is a way to add food to your inventory by doing a hunt. Reading books is obviously a thing. We can pop in the troop trees quick. So you can see here's the Briton troop tree. So you've got knight options, elites, standard bearers, and sharpshooters. All of the recruit trees are pretty standard in that manner. So Roman tribesmen, we've got more Roman looking ones, which I find really cool. My only complaint with this mod, if I was going to have one major complaint, would be that for some reason, the standard bearer troop type in most of the troop trees seems to be the end tier, and it's not a good troop. It should be unique. So if you have the Roman Legionnaire, which is a really good troop, especially because it's got some of the best armor in the game, plus it just looks really cool, you then upgrade it to the standard bearer and you now have someone running around with a standard instead of actually having good soldiers. That shouldn't be there. This should be the end, or you should, so from the auxiliary, you should be able to upgrade it to a standard bearer or a legionnaire. It should not go legionnaire, standard bearer. And that's something that you're going to see going through. So here we have it right. There's a standard bearer down here, or you could go the Frank champion, knights, archers, crossbow, etc. Scotty recruit, we have the berserker, then the standard bearer for some reason, But that being said, there is a full, all these are unique. So I think they definitely did a pretty good job on the troop trees in here. They're just fun. Northern Briton slave. We have different types of knights, Brigante, berserkers, and each one of them. So like the berserkers, every once in a while they'll go into a battle rage or a battle trance when you're in combat, and they'll start fighting better, but eventually they'll get tired. It's just, so far, it's one of the best conversion mods I've ever played. So I definitely recommend it for all the reasons that I've basically talked about so far. The quests are also pretty dang good for Mount & Blade Warband mod. There's one I know that, so over here you have Camelot, which for some reason it's spelled like that. I guess it's probably the old Welsh way of doing it, but I would probably, it says Kingdom of Camelot, so I would have just named it Camelot. Plus, if you're being historically accurate, in the original tales, Camelot was often also just Winchester, just so you know, for anyone out there interested in stuff like this. In a lot of the earlier texts, some would say Camelot, but most of them would refer to King Arthur's seat as Winchester. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But anyway, over here in Camelot, King Arthur's there. Most of his knights exist. So if we go into the factions, Kingdom of Camelot, you've got Gawain, Agravain, and Gareth. Those are three of the Orkney brothers. We have Bors, so Bors Daganis, Galahad, the Grail winner, and Bedwyr, which is the Welsh way of saying Bedivere. So these are a lot of the Knights of the Round Table, all of which I have videos for up on my channel. So you should go up on Parry This, so you should go check them out. But so if you like either Arthurian stuff or just Dark Ages England, this is definitely a great mod to play. It's a lot of fun. It's very well developed. I mean, my only other complaint would be that some of the armor and weapons aren't as polished as they could be. Like, the textures are not stunning, but honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with it. And that goes for everything. The dynasty system's fun. The religion system's fun. All the combat, it has your typical warband stuff. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, links in the description. And of course, if you want to see stuff like this before it comes on the channel or recommend stuff or whatever, feel free to join my Discord and suggest things like this, just like Vander did. So thanks a lot to Vander for pointing this out to me, and thanks everyone for watching it. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.